Atul and Rajendra are neighbors. They used to live in Indore. Both were married and everything was going well in their families. But one day, Atul said to Rajendra, "It's been a while since we've traveled anywhere, so let's go for a trip." "Anyway, I have a plan to make my aunt jealous. If you make a plan, we can all go together with our families. It's a week-long tour, so we'll enjoy it." Rajendra said, "Okay." Rajendra and Atul get ready with their families. They go to Goa. The first day is in Goa. Their wives, like the ones in Goa, stroll around in bikinis and other similar outfits. They too were wearing similar outfits. Rajendra was captivated by Atul's wife. They returned from their evening christening stroll and Atul said, "Let's go for a trip, hala." They went to Goa, sat in a hotel and had drinks. And after drinking, when they're a little tipsy, Rajendra tells his friend, "Dude, your wife is absolutely beautiful. She looks like an angel." Atul replies, "Dude, what's wrong with you? When I saw her in a bikini, I couldn't stop staring at her because I'd never seen her before and this was the first time I'd seen her like this." Hearing this, Rajendra understands that this guy has a different desire for his wife, while Rajendra has a different desire for Atul's wife, Ul's wife. What happens next is that the conversation between Atul and Rajendra escalates and Rajendra tells Atul, "If you like my wife so much, why don't you spend time with her tonight and I'll satisfy my desire with yours." Both were drunk. Atul says, "Friend, that's possible, but it's not likely that Bhabhi will get upset." He replies, "My responsibility to explain things to my wife and it's your responsibility to explain things to yours." And somehow they manage. We don't even know how the remaining 6 days will pass. Friends, after that, both of them return to their hotel and somehow convince their wives, saying they've come to enjoy themselves. And if this is what we want and we agree to, then why should you feel bad about it? Somehow, both of them convince their wives. And friends, what happens next will leave you stunned. The entire story is incredibly interesting. Be sure to stay tuned to the video until the end. But before that, for new viewers who haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Also, let us know in the comments which city you're watching the video from. And yes, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and comment. So friends, let's begin today's story. Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. The true incident I bring you today is from Indore, Madhya Pradesh. A man named Atul lived here and had a very close friend named Rajendra Bara. They were the same age and worked together. They shared a deep friendship. Rajendra had been married before and Atul married a year later. Neither of them had children. Both were newly married and were living single with their spouses. They were enjoying their lives to the fullest. Atul's wife was Vaiti and Rajendra's wife was Ruchi. Friends, they often visited each other's homes. They had a very close friendship and everyone knew each other. No one needed any introductions. The friendship was very deep. Visiting each other's homes, eating and drinking was a frequent occurrence. Rajendra and Atul worked together. One day, Atul tells Rajendra, "My family trip to Goa is planned. My husband and I are going. If you want to come along, we can come along. It's a 7-day tour. We'll have a great time. I've already got leave and we'll be back after 7 days." Rajendra says, "This is a great idea. I'll take leave too and we'll go together." Rajendra, who has a vacation left, goes to his office and applies for leave, which is approved. Rajendra, along with his wife, and Atul, along with his wife, set off for Goa. They arrive on the first day. Everyone is immersed in the beautiful valleys of Goa. They adopt the attire of the place according to the culture and civilization of the place, similar to the way people used to dress their color. While they were roaming around in skimpy bikinis and other such clothes, their wives, Ruchi and Preeti, also wore skimpy outfits. Friends, Preeti and Ruchi were very popular, while Rajendra and Atul were also very popular. There was no discrimination between them, and they were members of high society. They were an advanced family. They had no shame or any problem with anyone. Friends, when these two women were walking around in bikinis and skimpy clothes, Rajendra, somewhere roused by the sight of Atul's wife, Preeti. But he was afraid to tell Atul. Their friendship was so deep that he feared it would create a rift. So he came up with a plan. Why not go out somewhere this evening, have something to eat and drink, and then start a discussion to see what Atul was thinking. In the evening, when Rajendra and Atul return, Rajendra tells Atul, "Let's go sit somewhere and refresh our mood." Atul says, okay. They leave and go to a restaurant, have drinks, and then after drinking, they sit and talk. Rajendra brings up the topic and says to Atul, man, Preeti Bhabhi looked like an angel in a bikini. I've never seen her like that before, but what a stunning figure she has. He starts praising her. Atul's also intoxicated. He says, you're talking about my wife? I was really looking at your wife. Is she any less than anyone else? I was just staring at her. Rajendra also tells Atul this, saying, so we were both looking at each other's wives. Atul says, friend, we see our wife every day. Today we had the chance to see someone else's wife, so why not? We have eyes and we can see everything, but these people have come here to visit. Radhe, who is also a friend, says to Atul, why don't we swap places? Atul remains silent for a moment. Friend, do it, I want to too, but I don't know if Bobby will accept it. Rajendra says, well, it's up to me to convince her. Leave that to me. Just convince your wife somehow. Atul says, friend, Preeti may or may not agree, but let's go and talk to her. If we can work things out, that would be great. The two stayed in the hotel, only their rooms were separate. They were next to each other. Both of them were completely drunk. They returned from the hotel. Atul goes to his room and Rajendra goes to his. Both begin talking to their wives. What are they talking about? How are they going to convince her? After about half an hour, Atul goes to Rajendra's door and rings the bell. Rajendra opens the door and tells him to come out for 2 minutes. He calls him out and says, friend, I have convinced Preeti Yari. What about you? He replies, I've also convinced Ruchi. She's ready too. But she insists it's just for one day. We'll never do anything like this again. He says, okay. Both are overjoyed as they both had the opportunity to spend time with a new woman. Rajendra was overjoyed as he had other plans in mind. He was a bit playful, Nibai. Friends, a little while passes and Atul says, I'm going to my room. I'll tell him and come back, and you go and tell your wife. Atul goes to his room and then tells Preeti, I'm leaving and you can handle your own business. He leaves and goes to Rajendra's room. Rajendra returns and goes to Atul's room. The door is locked from inside and what happens in that room all night is unbelievable. Preeti and Ruchi seem to have gone completely crazy with a new man with them and they're enjoying the moment to the fullest. They're enjoying it to the fullest. Friends, the illicit game continues all night, and when morning comes, they end up in each other's rooms. There's no conversation between them. The intoxication of alcohol has worn off, but the pleasure they've experienced remains. After that, the friends set out for another trip. Atul and Rajendra went with them, while Preeti and Ruchi went with them. They reached the beach again and began to admire the scenery. Rajendra and Atul sat together and started talking. They were discussing what had happened the night before. Meanwhile, Preeti and Ruchi were also very happy. Both were smiling and talking with each other. They were laughing. It seemed as if nothing had happened that night. They had no idea who was whose husband or wife. It seemed as if they were completely unaware of everything. But friends, Rajendra, witnessing this scene, says to Atul, friend, I think both our wives are enjoying it. As you can see, they're discussing nothing and nothing else. And at the same time, look at how much they're smiling and laughing. It's as if some wish of theirs has been fulfilled. Atul tells Rajendra, yes friend, Preeti was never this happy with me. I think she enjoyed it much more with you. Rajendra says, why don't we keep this going as long as we're here? No one will know and we'll have a good time. Atul says, okay friends, this is a routine for these people. They drink in the evenings and after drinking, they'd go to each other's rooms, do bad things with the others' wives in Zapu. 7 days pass without anyone noticing. Now, on the 7th day, their leave ends. They have to return to work. They arrive in Indore, and after arriving, Preeti, who is supposed to be Preeti, isn't ready to go home. She says, I'm going with Rajendra. Seeing this, Atul becomes enraged. He says, whatever happened, it was just a time pass, a moment of enjoyment. Now forget it and go home. She replies, I don't want to be with you. You don't have the happiness I got from Rajendra. You're a husband in name only. What is the happiness and joy of a husband? Rajendra taught me this. You can't do anything with me. Hearing this, Atul is stunned. He begins to regret his actions, thinking perhaps they made the biggest mistake of their lives. But what happens now, friends? Whatever was supposed to happen between them, much of it had already happened. He had no choice. He tries very hard to convince his wife. He tells Ruchi Sanamo, please explain to Rajendra that this is mine, otherwise my family will fall apart, Tonto. She replies, what can I do? She's gone crazy herself. I'm not crazy to be with you. Hearing this, Atul felt a little uneasy. He had no choice. He couldn't even tell anyone that he had done such a thing there, that his wife didn't want to live with him. Rajendra also agrees to live with Preeti. He tells Atul, dude, your wife is very beautiful. If you want, you can keep my wife, and I'll take your wife. Hearing this, Atul replies, oh friend, you were just friends. Atul tries very hard to convince Preeti, saying, oh, forget what happened and let's go home. That's where all the happiness lies. Preeti says, no, I want to stay with Rajendra now. He couldn't understand. He stops going to work. He starts wandering around, unsure of what to do. He arrives at the police station and tells the police the truth. The police are shocked and ask Atul, why did you need to take such a step, Bhuri? You went for a trip with your wife. You went there to exchange your wife. What were you doing? Atul folds his hands before the police. Sir, please somehow save my family from breaking apart. I might not be able to bear pre-separation. Something could happen to me. Hearing this, the police say, okay then, we'll try. The rest depends on your wife. Then the police go in and talk to Preeti. Preeti is called to the police station. Preeti, Rajendra, Atul and Rajendra's wife Ruchi all arrive. A conversation ensues. Preeti was clearly stating that she didn't want to live with him. First, he wronged me by playing the wife-swapping game. And second, when I agreed to live with him, he shouldn't have had any problem. If he had any problem, why did he force me to spend time with another man? The police were at a loss for answers. Still, they tried to convince Rajendra, saying, let's just treat what happened as an accident. Preeti was unwilling to listen. When the police tried to reason with Rajendra said, I'm ready, but Preeti isn't agreeing, so what can I do? When Preeti was questioned, she said, Kurtaiwe, I want to live with him. Hearing her response, the police were at loss. They said, she's an adult and completely independent. We can't pressure her. Ultimately, the police, under duress, force Preeti to live with Rajendra, and Preeti begins living with Rajendra. Unable to bear the shock of this, Atul resigns from his job and becomes completely addicted to drugs. This entire incident reaches local media attention, and the story becomes a topic of discussion. Friends, this is why I said that in society and the world, one should never take any action or take a step that could become a problem for oneself, a noose around one's neck, as it did for Atul. This story teaches us to be cautious about such steps. We should never take such steps. So friends, here's the story. Please let us know how you liked the video in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and share. Friends, the purpose of telling this story is not to hurt anyone's feelings or offend anyone. It's simply to alert you. I want to raise awareness. I'll see you tomorrow with another great true interest story. Until then, take care of yourself and your family.